I can't wait until these beat selling platforms replace PayPal with something else. I got a crazy PayPal story for you. Now, I've spoken about PayPal's chargeback system. It almost seems like they're completely against beat makers to begin with. And before I get into my crazy PayPal story, I'm going to explain to you a couple ways that you can, number one, avoid this PayPal problem that I'm talking about, and number two, deal with these PayPal chargebacks. Now, this video is not about PayPal chargebacks. However, they are clearly a problem. As a matter of fact, I saw someone on Twitter, when I was complaining about PayPal, drop this bombshell that PayPal forced them to refund a customer $20,000 for a service they already provided them. I don't know what I would do in that situation. Now, just to reiterate, a PayPal chargeback is what happens when someone buys a beat from you and then files fraud charges against you. Basically says they didn't authorize that transaction, even though you know damn well that not only did they buy the beat, but they downloaded it and are probably rapping about money over that track right the fuck now. What happens is PayPal not only refunds their money from your account, they also charge you a chargeback fee because you have been flagged as a fraudulent user. And PayPal claims that they protect the sales of digital goods. They do not protect the sale of digital goods, because what proof do you have that they actually downloaded the file? You have your BeatStars receipts with the IPs and everything, but oftentimes PayPal will reject those as not sufficient evidence. So what I've done, it's a hack, and it sucks that we have to go through this, is I will check not on the BeatStars receipt, because sometimes they'll use a different address on their BeatStars account. I check the PayPal transaction for their address. Then I print out a copy of the BeatStars receipt, mail it to them, but I have to go to the post office and mail it in a way where there's a tracking number. Don't pay for the feature where they have to sign for it. It's unnecessary. Just get the cheapest method of tracking the letter. For me, that costs around $3-4. Get that tracking number, go to the PayPal Resolution Center and provide that as proof, because they will ask for a tracking number for a physical good. Now, PayPal will protect physical goods more so than they'll protect a digital good. But right now, you're tricking them into thinking you're selling a physical good because you have a tracking number. You have proof of fulfillment. I've personally never used that method and not won my case. But here's something that you might not know about. So last year, beat sales dropped. Granted, beat sales always drop around the holidays, but I'm talking about they didn't just drop, they were at zero. And I was noticing something else. Some of the transactions, okay, I guess I lied. There were a couple transactions here and there. When some of them came in, I would get a PayPal notification, but not a BeatStars notification. Something felt off. I was also getting a lot of emails from people who said they bought beats but never received them, so I would have to manually send them to them, because when I checked my BeatStars transactions, there was no transaction there. And right around the peak of beat sales, even before the big drop, I was talking to a producer colleague of mine, and this was a nightmare for Black Friday. It happened to me a few times, but apparently it happened to him on all of his transactions. So he had to manually send out his Black Friday beat deals to everybody that purchased one. That's an inconvenience for him. That's an inconvenience for the customers because they have to wait. It defeats the entire purpose of using PayPal. Now, let me quickly run through how to avoid this, right? I'm gonna do this quickly because I don't need you seeing my customer data. So you go to sales, transactions, and then you go to pending or canceled. Now, you might see some pending or canceled transactions. Those, even though they say pending, they're dead in the water. So check those emails, make sure they didn't actually figure out how to successfully make a purchase. But if they didn't, if their transaction got canceled because PayPal is canceling transactions for some reason, or if they're pending, that means they're stuck because some part of the PayPal system or the user's bank, it could be their financial institution, is halting that process. Well, they're never going to get the beat. You're never going to get the money. Send them an email, reach out to them, let them know what's going on. Let them know that you noticed that they tried to purchase a beat. Let them know that you can help them. And the way that you help them is by sending them an invoice directly to their PayPal account. Sometimes you have to circumvent BeatStars, which sucks, but the beautiful thing about BeatStars is you can just download one of the contract templates and just insert all the information in there. It's extra work for you, but at least you're saving the sale. Why is PayPal doing it? I have no idea. We've all asked. PayPal doesn't give us any information. Matter of fact, they blame BeatStars, which doesn't make any damn sense because BeatStars is just using PayPal for all of their payments. BeatStars doesn't pay me, PayPal pays me. Now, a lot of beat sellers who are making six figures a year, been doing it for a while, they've probably passed millions of dollars through the PayPal system. Well, that's not enough because you got to put it into perspective. PayPal represents a lot of merchants who sell in the millions, tens of millions, billions. We are not their priority. That's why I had to come up with these ridiculous workarounds. But it got really bad last November, leading up to Black Friday, which made me really nervous because at that point, Stripe was gone. Another way to avoid any sort of PayPal related issues is to just not use PayPal. And I don't mean stop using, your Beat store, whether it's Track Train, BeatStars, whatever you use. I'm saying for a specific transaction where a user doesn't have PayPal or is having trouble with their PayPal, what you have to do is be prepared. Probably one of the dumbest things I did next to dragging my feet on getting into the online beat leasing game was dragging my feet when it came to signing up for these multiple payment processors. I had PayPal, I figured I was covered, right? I didn't get Cash App until a bunch of people contacted me trying to pay me for beats through Cash App. I didn't get Venmo until, because I'm like, what the fuck is Venmo? I'm not getting Venmo until someone was like, I'm not going to send you the money for this custom beat unless you get Venmo. That's the only thing I used. Once that happened, I signed up for every goddamn thing. Apple Pay, Till, whatever it is. I don't know how to pronounce it. Venmo, Zelle, all of these options out there that people do use as alternatives for PayPal are options that you can offer people. Now, if you have a custom website, it's way easier to do, not because Cash App has an online API integration. I wish they did. But you can list somewhere on your head or something, if you have this option, of course, that you accept Cash App, that you accept Apple Pay, that you accept Zelle. It just gives people alternatives. Everyone has their preference, and sometimes people are locked out of their PayPal accounts. Sometimes people don't have valid credit cards because they lost a credit card. That might have happened to me last week. So having different payment options is something that the customers are going to appreciate, but it's also something that helps prevent you losing sales. Now let's get into the PayPal bullshit for real. So allow me to set the scene. Now this happens sometimes. If you've been selling beats for a while, you've experienced this, right? Artist goes to your website, they try to make a purchase. Maybe there's a lag, maybe the window doesn't open correctly. Something happens once they complete that transaction that makes them attempt the transaction one or more subsequent times, right? And in this case, someone did it 3 times, which means they were charged 3 times for the single beat that they were attempting to purchase. Each transaction was 10 minutes apart. I don't know what was going on their end. I didn't ask. But what I didn't want them to do, which is what ended up happening, was I didn't want them to file a dispute on those extra transactions. But they did. So I reached out to them. I explained to them what happened. I said, all right, can you cancel those fraud claims? Because it wasn't fraud. You just clicked the button too many times. They were cool about it. They said yes. I said, cool, here's what I'll do. I will just manually, once you cancel these fraud charges, I'm just going to manually refund your money for the extra transactions. Very easy. You just go into PayPal, you click issue refund. It's the easiest thing in the world. I was wrong. Worst story, looks like something went wrong on our end. Please try to submit again. So I waited a couple days and I tried it again. The customer was asking me where the fuck his money was. I didn't have an answer for him because the error just kept coming up. At this point, I had to do the thing that I dread the most. Get on the phone with a customer service rep. So as you can see, this conversation began on November 7th and concluded on November 21st. Now, why did it take this long to resolve the simple issue of a refund? So initially on November 8th, they waited a good day to just keep me guessing. They responded and said, this is Deborah. I spoke to Deborah on the phone about 5 or 6 times throughout this multi-week fiasco. Deborah says, I was finally able to accept liability, so the funds have been refunded to the buyer. Great. Everything's resolved, right? Nope. The buyer tells me he didn't get a damn cent. And when I checked my PayPal history, he was right. He didn't get anything. November 9th, the following day, here's Kathleen. No more Deborah, even though Deborah was the person to whom this case was escalated because Deborah was a higher up. And Kathleen understands that this is incredibly frustrating. And basically, she didn't tell me anything else of importance. November 9th again, Brietta talked with Deborah. My girl Deborah said she was going to reach out later today. And she did. She called me. I'm basically asking them what the hell's going on. I guess Deborah hasn't reached out to me at this point. Now Jeanette's involved. Why didn't I have this many women in my life when I was single? Same day, I don't remember, what did I say to them? Oh yeah, I was pissed, god damn. I use really big words when I'm upset with these people, man. Because they were lying to me. Recall that several days prior to these messages, Deborah had already told me that everything was handled. that the refund was complete, that she had gotten to the bottom of the issue, that my concerns were of utmost importance to her, that I was a valued customer. So there's a big gap in communication between the 9th and the 20th because I've been talking to Deborah on the phone, trying to get it resolved. I was on the phone with Deborah. It must have been more than 5 or 6 times because this is a wide ass gap. And I finally reached out and I was just like, look, man, you guys played me at this point for what is that, a couple weeks. And I just asked them, look, I spent hours, just give me some damn money because I wasted all my time. Give me $200 because you wasted too much of my time. I feel like 200 is nothing for these people. And they told me to suck a dick. Did you see how long that took? They finally got it resolved. But during the course of that, they told me it was resolved multiple times when it in fact wasn't. And when all was said and done, they never actually resolved the issue. They never fixed things on my end. All they did was blame BeatStars and then figure out some workaround. But it's crazy to me that they couldn't just issue a refund or fix on my end this very simple error that should have never happened to begin with. BeatStars has nothing to do with the PayPal panel. All my money is in PayPal. BeatStars doesn't touch it. Why are they blaming BeatStars? Why can't they just fix their own system error? That really caused me to lose a lot of trust in PayPal. Now, I'm not saying this exact scenario is going to happen to you. It could. I hope it doesn't. That's why I started with the solutions to avoiding this problem before you end up knee deep in Deborah's bullshit. But I think this story and others like it, and if we've been selling beats for a while, we have our frustrations with PayPal, shows the necessity for alternative payment processing systems. I, for one, cannot wait. Maybe if we all manifest it together energetically, it will happen in the quantum field. I'm actually being serious. Can we all please just take some time to really focus on the feeling of having an alternative, one that functions, one with customer service reps that actually respect what we do as digital creators, ones that will actually not, lie to our faces time and time again. I hope this doesn't happen to you, but be proactive. I think even if you never run into a PayPal problem, at very least being more diverse with your payment options, communicating with your customers at the first sign of a problem, not waiting for it to escalate to a fraud claim. All of these things will help you. Appreciate you tuning in. Much success to you. Peace.